Long ago, before the red earth of Benin felt the footsteps of men, when rivers still whispered to the trees, and the sky had a heartbeat, there existed a time when gods walked among themselves. They shaped destinies, crafted balance, and were weaving the threads of what would become the mortal world. It was an age when thunder was the laughter of divine beings, and silence itself trembled at their names. Among these beings were two who stood out above all others: Esu, the cunning trickster and divine messenger, whose tongue could turn truth into thunder and lies into lessons; and Oba, the eternal king, ruler of gods and men, the divine embodiment of wisdom, justice, and power. This is the tale of how the trickster tested the king, and how through chaos and wisdom, the balance of the Benin cosmos was forever preserved. Before we begin, if you enjoy my videos, please drop a like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. In the beginning, Osanobua, the great creator and father of all gods, divided the realms. He gave the seas to Alakan, the god of wealth and depth; the underworld to Ogiwu, the keeper of death; the wines and forests to Ovia, goddess of peace and fertility. To Oba, he gave the throne of divine kingship, the right to rule both the celestial and earthly domains, to ensure harmony between gods and men. But to Esu, Osanobua gave something different: not a kingdom, not a crown, but influence. "You shall be the voice that carries words between realms," said the Creator. "You shall test men and gods alike, that truth may be proven and deceit revealed." Esu bowed, smiling faintly, for he knew what others did not, that influence, not rulership, is the true source of power. At the heart of the heavens stood Igwe Ekua, the golden palace of Oba, walls shimmering like sunlight on brass, floors carved from pure coral stone, and pillars that reached the stars. Here, Oba sat on a throne of red earth and ivory tusks, surrounded by his council: Alakan, the wise and rich lord of the sea; Uvia, the mother of harmony; Ogiwu, silent as the grave; and Esu, whose presence brought laughter and sometimes dread. Every full moon, the gods gathered to decide the fate of mortals: who would be blessed with rain, who would be tested with drought, and who would ascend to greatness. The Oba's word was final, for he ruled with the authority of Osanobua himself. But Esu, ever restless, found no joy in order. His spirit fed on confusion, and his laughter echoed wherever vanity grew. One day, Esu went wandering between the worlds. He saw men on earth kneeling to Oba, offering palm wine, yams, and colonnettes. "Oba, Oba," they chanted, "King of kings, ruler of all, may your name never fade." Esu frowned. "Do they not pour even a drop for me?" he muttered. He was the messenger who carried the prayers, yet his name was never praised. So Esu returned to the heavens, and before the great council, he bowed to the Oba. "Your Majesty," he said slyly, "the mortals adore you. But I wonder, do they love you, or do they fear you?" The Oba's calm eyes glowed like embers. "Both, perhaps. For love without fear breeds disobedience, and fear without love breeds rebellion." Esu chuckled. "Wise words indeed, but shall we test them? Shall we see how deep their love truly runs?" The Oba leaned forward. "And how do you intend to test them, trickster?" Esu's grin widened. "By silence. Let the earth go 7 days without hearing your blessings. Let them call, and hear no answer." Ovia gasped. "You speak madness, Esu." But Oba, ever confident, replied, "So be it. Let the mortals show their hearts." And with that, the heavens fell silent. On earth, the people of Benin awoke to strange stillness. Their drums, once alive with rhythm, sounded hollow. Their priests called upon the Oba's name, but their voices vanished into the wind. No rain fell, no dreams came. The river slowed to a crawl. Fear spread. Has the Oba abandoned us? They cried. Esu, in the disguise of an old wanderer, went among them. He whispered into the ears of men, "Perhaps the Oba no longer cares for you. Perhaps he grows weary of your prayers. Soon, the people turned from the shrines of the Oba and began to pour libations to any spirit who would listen. And as they did, Esu gathered every word, carrying it back to the heavens like embers in his palm. When the seventh day ended, Oba opened the veil between worlds. He looked down and saw confusion, temples empty, offerings poured to lesser spirits. Even his sacred flame, the eternal light at the heart of Benin, flickered weakly. The Oba rose from his throne, his voice like rolling thunder. Who dares twist the hearts of men against their king? As you step forward, I did nothing but speak truth, great Oba. I merely gave them choice. The heavens trembled, Olokan's waves roared, and Ovia covered her face. Esu, the Oba said coldly, you have mocked the divine order. For this, you shall be exiled from my court. But Esu only laughed. You may banish me from your throne, Oba, but not from men's hearts. For every man carries a whisper of mischief, and I am that whisper. And with a flash of red fire, Esu vanished. At first, the gods rejoiced. Peace at last, they said. But peace gradually turned to stillness, and stillness to stagnation. Without Esu, no prayers reached the heavens. No messages passed between gods and mortals. Offerings rotted at the altars, smoke curled into the sky with no reply. Olokan went to the Oba, Your Majesty, without the messenger, the bridge between us and men is broken, even my tides grow tired. The Oba sighed. For the first time, he understood even mischief has purpose. The world needed Esu's chaos to remain alive. So Oba descended from the heavens, wearing a cloak of starlight and brass. He walked across deserts and forests, searching for Esu. He found him at the crossroads, where four paths met, where every choice begins and ends. Esu sat beside a fire, playing his flute. Why have you come, king? Esu asked without turning. The Oba replied, because the world needs your voice. Your mischief reminds men to stay awake. Your tricks sharpen their wisdom. I was wrong to silence you. The Oba smiled, a shrine beside mine, in every temple of Benin. From this day, no offering shall reach me unless first it passes through you. Esu turned, his eyes gleaming like red embers. And what will you give me in return, Oba? Esu grinned, then the balance is restored. And from that moment, it was decreed that no man would call upon the gods without first acknowledging Esu, the gatekeeper, the messenger, and the eternal trickster. Back in the heavens, harmony returned. Esu once more took his place at the Oba's side, laughing during councils, whispering riddles into the wind. Mortals learned to pour the first drop of palm wine to him before any other god, saying, Esu, open the way. The Oba ruled with renewed wisdom, understanding that order cannot exist without a measure of chaos, just as light cannot shine without shadow. And so, the Benin gods lived in balance once again. Oba, the eternal king of kings, and Esu, the cunning bridge between realms. Their story lives on in every proverb, every festival, every whispered prayer before dawn, for where there is law, there must also be wit. And where there is power, there must be truth to test it. The story of Esu and the Oba is not merely one of rebellion and reconciliation. It is the eternal reminder that balance governs all things. The king without the trickster grows blind. The trickster without the king becomes lost. Together, they form the sacred rhythm of existence, the dance of chaos and order, of laughter and law, of message and meaning. And so, when the people of Benin pour libation, they always begin, to Esu, who opens the way, and then, to Oba, the king amongst gods and men. For only together do they keep the world turning.